Hey, it's a great day. I'm Mike Current, Energizer, and today is day 56 on the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, so let's do this. So for today, Duracell and I are taking a zero in the town of Buena Vista, enjoying a well-needed rest. For the last 9 days, we've covered 173 miles, averaging 19.2 miles per day. And we're going to be hitting a next section that's going to be kind of long. So we decided this was a good place to take a break. And also, I got some new shoes here. Every 800 miles, as you know, or every 400 miles, I get new shoes. Every 800 miles, I get the inserts. We got a resupply box here. And so we went through it and enjoying a much needed rest. As you can see behind me, we've got everything laid out to dry. We had some wet days, as you saw in the videos, and so we're still allowing everything to dry out. What I would like to do in this video is go over my big three items that I use on the Appalachian Trail. The big three are your major equipment items that a person has, and it consists of the most critical pieces of gear and typically the heaviest pieces of gear in your base weight. So I'd like to go through those three items. The first one is my Hyperlight Mountain Gear Southwest rucksack. It's the all black version. I use this one. I like it. It's 55 liters, although the 40-liter version would work quite well on the Appalachian Trail just because you don't need that much stuff. But this particular backpack I used on the Continental Divide Trail, and actually the backpack that Duracell is using is the same one that I used on the Pacific Crest Trail and the first time I thru-hiked on the Appalachian Trail. But I found that the size just seemed to ride a little low on me. It was a little too big for me. And Duracell's torso is a little longer than mine, so he's using that one. It's still holding up. This is its third thru-hike. The rucksack's still holding up. And then this one I used on the Continental Divide Trail and using it on this one. And like you said, like I showed you, it's the all black version. It's not just color choice. The all black version is a thicker Dyneema composite, so it lasts a little longer. I'm very happy with the backpack, and yeah, because this is the fourth thru-hike, I've essentially used the same rucksack, and it's quite popular here on the Appalachian Trail and the other trails. I would say that Hyperlight Mountain Gear is probably one of the most popular backpacks used on the three of the Triple Crown trails. So that covers my rucksack, and then let's go to the sleep system. Sleep system consists of the sleep pad and your sleeping bag. For the sleep pad, I use the Thermarest, and the newer models, they've actually got rid of that potato chip sound that the older models had, and they've increased the valve, so the valve is much better than it used to be. So it just holds up. The thing that I have found with the sleep pads, though, is some people will inflate them too much, and it actually will be more uncomfortable. And it's finding that ideal where it's not too inflated, but keeps you off the ground, but you sit more on it like a waterbed. For those of you that are old enough to remember waterbeds, you kind of lay on it more like a waterbed instead of up on the hard air. And so I use the Thermarest, and then for my sleeping bag, I actually use an Enlighten Equipment Revelation 30 Degree. Now 30 Degree, I've used this for the entire Appalachian Trail before, and I'm going to use it again for this one. Since I started in April this time instead of May, which I did last time, this might not have been warm enough, but if you recall, for my hot gear, I had a puffy jacket and puffy pants. And I would wear the puffy jacket and puffy pants on those very cold nights, particularly in the Smokies. And between those and the Enlighten Equipment 30 Degree bag, I was warm enough. And since we've entered May, I sent back the puffy jacket and pants, and the 30-degree is plenty to keep me warm on the trail, and it'll last for the rest of the trail going up to Katahdin. And then the last of the big three items is my tent. Now, most of you probably remember that on the Triple Crown trails before, I used a Z-Packs duplex tent. I was very happy with that tent. That tent lasted for all 3 trails, so nothing bad to say about that tent. It lasts for all 3 trails, but I knew I needed a new tent for this trail, and 2 things I didn't care for on the Z-Packs duplex, and that is, 1, you sleep perpendicular to the tent poles, and I never had issues. Some people have issue going in and out of the going by the tent pole or the tent pole. People have issues with that. I never really had that issue, but I did find that either my head or the bottom of my sleeping bag would rest up against the sides of the tent, and now because of the condensation, that would create some moisture issues either on the on top of my head or on the bottom of my sleeping bag, and I didn't care for that. And the other thing, and to me it's just kind of a design flaw in the Z-Packs duplex, is if the stakes are not put in exactly right, the guidelines are not exactly right, then the ribbon that actually attaches the rain fly to the bottom will draw water into the tent. And it's not just me, and I've tried 8,000 miles with that tent. I've tried all different ways of doing it and different tricks of doing it. It's just, you're not going to find perfect ground all the time, and so it's going to happen. If you watch Dixie Homemade Wanderlust, you watch her Pacific Crest Trail full video towards the end when she's in Washington, she's in inclement weather and she shows a puddle of water inside her tent. When I saw that, I knew exactly how it got there. And it's the same thing that happened to me when I was using the tent. If it was going to rain, I would look around to the 4 corners and try to figure out where the water is going to come in, and I would throw my washcloth down there because I knew at some point during the night I'd be cleaning up a puddle of water. So on this trail, because the Appalachian Trail is known for its rain, I wanted something that wouldn't happen. So I went with the Durston tent. It's a newer company. It wasn't around when I first started through hiking, but for me it was really taken off. In fact, I haven't done a survey or anything, but anecdotally, Duracell and I have looked at tents that in other campsites here on the Appalachian Trail, and we both believe that the Durston is probably the most common tent now used on the Appalachian Trail. I have the Durston X-Mid Pro 1. It's all Dyneema, 1-person tent. And Duracell has the X-Mid Pro 2. It's a 2-person tent. Really big inside. I mean, we were talking about him putting a disco ball in it, and it's actually, you can see it right here. We're trying to let it get the surface water off of it. But the tent comes in different, although the make and model, the make is the same, the model is actually different based on the type of material used. It can be all Dyneema or just part of it Dyneema or the nylon. So depending on your budget is how you go for it. And what I have found with the Durston is, one, that the tent poles are running with the way you sleep. So when you get up and you go down for inside the tent, you're at the highest point of the tent. So that's really nice. And the other thing is, the way the tent is situated, it doesn't let water in, which is really nice about the Durston. I have not had any issues with getting wet on this trail, and I've been getting rained on quite a bit at different points, but I've had no issues as far as getting wet inside the tent during the rain, as I did in the duplex when I was using it. And the last thing is, it is real easy to set up. All you got to do is 4 stakes. You nail them down, you know, put them down, and then you put the poles up to where the tent is taut, and that's it. 4 stakes, 2 poles, that's all you need. Now I wind up using 7 stakes just because of the way I like it situated, but there are different ways that you can actually conform the tent to how you feel. But I'm really comfortable with the Durson. I think it is the next revolution in backpacking tents. And so, yeah, really happy with it. So that's my big 3. I've got the Hyperlight Mountain Gear Southwest as my rucksack. For my sleep system, the Thermarest sleeping pad, and then the Enlighten Equipment Revelation 30 degree bag. 950 loft, by the way. And then for my tent, I have the Durson X-Mid Pro 1-person tent, and that's what I've been using. Real happy with all 3. I'll go through the rest of my gear in some other video as we continue to progress and for another 0. But yeah, that's the big 3. Really happy with it. See you tomorrow.